This is easily the most important display here at the Indonesian Motor Show because this is a proper world debut for this car. You're looking at the Mitsubishi Xforce, a brand new B segment SUV which is coming to Malaysia, and it is going to fight two very popular rivals, the Honda HR-V and the Toyota Corolla Cross. So let's see what this new SUV is all about. First things first, the name Xforce. This is because it's in the same family as the Xpander, you know, X something, X Xpander, Xforce. So, like I said, this is going to go against the HR-V and the Corolla Cross, but Mitsubishi is making this car a little bit bigger than the HR-V at least. So this is a B plus segment. At the front, it is a very bold, very aggressive looking SUV. This is the latest interpretation of the very familiar Mitsubishi Dynamic Shield front face, but here is made far more 3D than before. You've got all these big lumps popping out of the grille. This is the Dynamic Shield that we know from before, but now it's been evolved even further. The headlights are very, very bold as well. This is a T-shaped bar. It's designed this way to make the whole car wider than before. If you look at it from afar, this looks bigger than a HR-V. Size-wise, this is longer, taller, wider than the Honda HR-V, and even the wheelbase is significantly longer as well. That bodes well for the interior space of this car, which I'll show you in a bit. But Mitsubishi says that this will have class-leading interior room for both passengers and cargo. Back to styling, this car has a lot of things going for it. You've got a floating roof at the top, and even the wheel arches look very, very prominent, especially around the back. Now that looks very muscular. The rear mimics the front end very closely as well, especially with, again, T-bar shaped taillights. This is, again, to make the car look wider than before, but overall, this is very distinctive. It looks fresh, it looks unique. Now, the center part over here does look a little bit, empty, but overall, this for sure is a handsome looking car, especially in this bright yellow color. Inside, the interior looks young and fresh as well. I especially like this fabric covers for the center part of the dashboard. It really does lift the cabin way better than most of its rivals. Now, specifically in terms of build quality, pretty much everything you see and you can touch apart from the fabric over here are all hard plastics, and certain parts down here are a little bit sharp as well. Not the best, but at least with this fabric, it doesn't look too cheap. But other than that, this car does have a lot going for it. For the inside, you've got a smaller 8-inch instrument cluster which has multiple themes to choose from, and the big 12.3-inch center display is apparently the biggest screen ever fitted to a Mitsubishi car. Obviously, this has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and so on. And moving further down, you've got a wireless charger for your phone, as well as two cable chargers for USB-C and a USB-A. So it doesn't matter what cable you have, you will be able to charge your phone. Down here, you've got a dual zone climate control system, and everything has proper physical controls to them. No touchscreen nonsense over here. That I like very much. Down here, you've also got a push start button which has been moved from, behind the steering wheel to the center over here, which I like. It's very easy to find. You've also got an electric parking brake down in the middle, as well as a drive mode selector down here. This also has a brand new mode called Wet Mode, which is specifically designed for ASEAN roads with, a lot of rain, a little bit of flood. It's supposed to give you better stability as well as handling in wet conditions. Another big selling point for the Xforce is the use of premium Yamaha sound system. This uses 8 speakers and it's all specifically developed for this very car. Yamaha sound designers sat in the back as people drive along, and they've rearranged the speakers to give it that, that extra oomph as you drive along. This is a big advantage this car has over all of its rivals. If you buy the HR-V or the Corolla Cross, you get brandless standard speakers. Here you get proper Yamahas. That's fantastic. And then we get to the back where I think this is even more spacious than the Honda HR-V that has long been the class leader for a long time. This feels even more spacious. That is absolutely fantastic. And then this car also has pretty much all of the practicality bits nailed as well. The floor is almost completely flat. The rear bench is wider than most of its rivals. You can actually fit 3 adults in the back here, no problems at all. And even the rear bench, the rear backrest, is adjustable with 8 different recline positions. There's way more than all of its rivals. And the practicality factor extends to the boot as well. The tailgate is powered obviously, and it opens up to a very wide and very deep cargo bay. You've also got an adjustable floor, and Mitsubishi says you can dump in a whole load of stuff, the biggest in the class. You can put in bicycles and whatnot. But here we come to the big disappointment of the Xforce, because this car shares the same chassis as the Xpander. It uses the same engine as well. Here is a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and it only makes 105 PS and 141 Newton meters of torque. That is disappointing when most of its rivals have, bigger 2-litre engines or even a turbocharged engine and so on. The transmission is a CVT instead of a 4AT like in the Xpander, and everything has been tuned to make this car feel, well, I guess not underpowered. Mitsubishi claims that this only weighs about 1.2 tons, which is a lot lighter than most of its rivals, which is closer to 1.4 tons. So perhaps in terms of performance, this would be acceptable. We'll have to wait till it comes to Malaysia for us to drive it, of course. Moving on to driving dynamics, Mitsubishi claims that this car has been specifically tuned for ASEAN roads, that is to say, bad, lumpy, pothole roads. And Mitsubishi claims this has the best ride quality in the class. Again, we shall see when we get to drive it later on in the future. There are no exact timelines when this will come to Malaysia just yet, but we are looking at end of next year at the earliest, perhaps even the year after that. Whatever it is, how much would you be willing to pay for a Mitsubishi Xforce back home in Malaysia? Given the small engine but the large interior, I think it is a nice trade-off. And in terms of practicality, this looks like a sure winner from Mitsubishi. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.